California was going to give so-called undocumented migrants up to $150,000 toward home purchases, but California Governor Gavin Newsom said, not so fast. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about California Governor Gavin Newsom vetoing a bill that would have given so-called undocumented migrants, illegal aliens, asylum seekers, whatever you want to call them, up to $150,000 for a down payment toward a home purchase. Now, this is kind of surprising, but not really. Let me just back up a little bit before we get to the video and some more explanation. Let's back up a little bit. Now, Gavin Newsom, of course, governor of California. Many think that he could be a presidential candidate. And if you ask me, he should have already been in that position to try and take over for these octogenarians or whatnot who are in there right now, like Joe Biden, the moron in Kamala Harris. He should have been the guy, but maybe they don't want him to be the guy because he's a straight white male and they want to go a different direction. But I'm like, hey man, put the best guy up to bat and let him swing at the ball and see what he can do. Okay. How many more Barack Obamas do you have in the bullpen? How many more people like that do you have that can just come forward? How many more saxophone playing, dark sunglasses wearing guys do you have? You don't have anybody else. He's the best guy. But because you think he's white, he's straight, he may not fit the bill. I don't really know. I'm not trying to give the opposing side ideas on how to win. So different story. I digress. The point is, California's state government passed this bill, but once it got to Gavin Newsom's desk, he vetoed it, which means it's not going to happen. He said, I don't want that. We're not going to do that in California. It's a good thing, but it shouldn't have been a thing to have to do at all. And I think Gavin is just trying to position himself to go for higher office, which again, they should have done that years ago. Now, before I go any further, let's watch two clips. First, we're going to see this whole thing being introduced to the general public, I suppose. Then we're going to see the whole veto action. And of course, I will link to everything in the box. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
A state bill could allow undocumented immigrants to purchase a home.
Now, before they continue, they're talking about undocumented immigrants. But at the end, they're going to say, oh, they got to have a social security number, all this, that, and the third. Well, if you have a social, then you have documentation. So we're saying different things that don't really add up. If you haven't, listen. And if anybody wants to correct me, don't you need to have some documentation to have a social security number? I'm not saying you're a citizen necessarily, but shouldn't you be if you got a social? You got to have some kind of paperwork to have that. But maybe I'm wrong. Y'all let me know. Let's continue.
As California would become the first state to grant them state-supported home loans. Our Conan Nolan is live in the newsroom with the next steps. Conan.
That's right. This legislation refers to a California state program, but it could have national ramifications, particularly in an election year.
It's legislation in Sacramento receiving national attention, a first-in-the-nation effort to allow undocumented immigrants state money for the purchase of a home. The bill's author, Assemblyman Joaquin Arambula of Fresno.
The social and economic benefits of homeownership should be accessible to everyone, regardless of immigration status.
That is crazy. And let's be clear, this is a taxpayer-funded program. Taxpayer-funded. You got the citizens in California suffering. If they're not super rich and they're living in one of these city areas, they're suffering. But illegal aliens, yo, come on in and take this taxpayer money. That's a ridiculous thing to say. Ridiculous.
For those who qualify under the California Dream for All program, the state would pay the 20% down payment for a first-time home buyer, up to $150,000. Assembly Bill 1840 would amend the program so that those in the country in violation of federal law would also be eligible.
Let's just pause for a second. If you need help for a down payment and the down payment is six figures, you can't afford the house. You can't afford the house.
Undocumented individuals have historically been excluded from housing initiatives because of federal restrictions. Ensuring universal access by all qualified borrowers to the California Dream for All program will contribute to the overall success and vitality of California.
backlash has been swift.
And now you got California trying to get homes for illegal immigrants. Are you kidding me?
California Senate Minority Leader Brian Jones.
Every dollar that goes to an illegal immigrant is a dollar not going to our veterans or other Californians, other legal residents or citizens that also qualify for that money. This isn't an unlimited bucket of money that the state has available for these homebuyer programs.
Evan Simon has been covering the vote for the political website California Globe. He says passage of the bill is nearly assured.
There's enough progressive Democrats right now in Sacramento who will get it passed. That's why all eyes are on Newsom.
Governor Gavin Newsom has not said if he will sign the bill, which could complicate the party's messaging this election year on the volatile immigration issue. Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris has endorsed funding for the border wall. She's also backed a modest federal home down payment grant, but one that excludes undocumented immigrants. Donald Trump has already condemned the California legislation.
So if this comes up during a debate, say the debate next month, that it can be a talking point for sure.
The staff for Assemblyman Arambula said the author who is the author of the bill said that he is not giving interviews currently, at least until the vote will be taken, possibly by this weekend. Supporters of the measure point out that only those with a taxpayer ID and a Social Security number would be eligible, meaning only those who are undocumented and have been here for years, most probably working.
So you have a Social Security number or a TIN or whatever it is, but you're undocumented. Again, I don't understand how that works. You have documentation to have Social Security number. You got to fill out documents for that. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe when you go to southern border, you come in illegally, snot nose, whatever, it just give you a social. I don't think that's how that works, but I digress. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Here we go with the veto, the update.
Out of a bill stirring debate nationwide. California lawmakers passed legislation that would help undocumented immigrants get home loans. The governor, though, vetoed it. NBC Bears' Jocelyn Moran joins us now with more on the governor's rationale for that. And Jocelyn, I know you also spoke to a realtor who actually has clients that could have benefited from this type of a loan.
Yeah, right.
A realtor with illegal aliens for clients is nuts. And if you have illegal aliens for clients, then they're buying homes already without this program. Isn't that an issue? Shouldn't you be like a legal resident to buy property? Well, I guess not, because you got a lot of these foreign companies, foreign countries buying up American companies like Smithfield Foods. If you guys didn't know, Smithfield Foods, the pork, bacon, all of that, that's owned by China, if you didn't know. Or a Chinese company, pardon me.
Jess, and she's now having to break the news to them. The California Dream for All program gives down payment assistance to qualifying first-time home buyers. This bill would have allowed undocumented immigrants to be considered for that program, but tonight that is no longer a possibility.
In the last couple of weeks, I've been getting so many calls.
Lizbeth Alarcon is a Bay Area realtor who often helps undocumented immigrants buy their dream homes. She says some of her clients were excited about Assembly Bill 1840.
They were waiting and hoping that this would kind of help them get, their home finally.
Oh, well, but hey, they better figure out something else like the rest of us, like hardworking Americans. As a matter of fact, try becoming a citizen first. How about that?
The bill would have expanded the California Dream for All program, which provides financial assistance for first-time home buyers. In June of this year, the program began providing qualifying home buyers with money for down payments and closing costs. It was so popular, it ran out of funding after just 11 days. AB 1840 would have allowed undocumented immigrants to apply for first-time home buyer assistance too.
So if the program was so popular, it ran out of funding in 11 days, how are you going to add on a bunch of new people who have no skin in the game and then think that the same thing won't happen, but at a quicker pace? And if that happens, if you have a finite amount of money, like what my man said earlier, you're going to have veterans and everybody else, actual hardworking American citizens in California, they're going to be left out.
Governor Gavin Newsom vetoed the bill, citing the cost. In his veto message, he said in part, quote, given the finite funding available for CalHFA programs, expanding program eligibility must be carefully considered within the broadened context of the annual state budget to ensure we manage our resources effectively. Assemblymember Joaquin Arambula from Fresno County wrote the bill and said in a statement he's deeply disappointed, adding that, quote, I have always believed this bill is about fairness. The veto doesn't change the fact that many people, including undocumented immigrants, dream of owning a home so that generational wealth can be passed to their children.
Yeah, that's crazy. Coming into the country illegally, you got some nerve talking about something. Yeah, I want generational wealth. I want to be able to do this, that, and the third. It's like, look, man, become a citizen. Don't come in the country illegally. Do the right thing. Don't just come in here any kind of way and make demands. That's really offensive to me. I don't know about y'all, but to me, it's offensive.
This comes a day after former President Trump vowed, if elected, to ban mortgages for undocumented immigrants in California. As it stands now, Alarcón says buying a home as an undocumented immigrant in the Golden State is not easy.
It is definitely a lot harder because rates are higher for them. Down payment is also larger than, somebody who has a social.
But she says for many.
But didn't they just say that the program was only for those who had social? See what I'm saying? They make up stuff as they go.
Buying a home is still part of the American dream.
Yeah, the American dream, as in American citizens, not illegal aliens, not asylum seekers or whatever they want to call themselves. Whatever new phrase we want to use, migrants, illegals, whatever. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to the American citizens living over there in California. Hey, my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you because I know how hard it is over there dealing with stuff like that. That's totally crazy. You're competing with illegal aliens or whatnot for real estate, for resources, for everything. It shouldn't be that way. If you want to buy a home, if you want to live here in this country, do what you're supposed to do. Become a citizen. Go about it the right way. But the message, as I close, from those in power, from Democratic Party, do whatever you want to do. And again, I think this right here from Gavin is a ploy to set himself up for a future run for president so he could seem fair and moderate Democrat, things of this nature. That's just my humble opinion, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on the whole situation? Do you think that Gavin was right to veto it? How about the bill even coming to his desk at all? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. The bill shouldn't have even materialized. It shouldn't be an argument. Why are we having a debate about whether illegal aliens should get taxpayer-funded down payments up to $150,000? Okay, that's quite a bit of money, 20% of your home. And again, if you need that much money and assistance, you can afford a house no way. So really, it's just an overall bad bill. It's not even really going to work that well for regular citizens, let alone illegal aliens who should not at all be privy to those funds. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.